Hey guys, this is Colin here, and I want to talk about Dragon Age and all the problems that I found with it. And you know, I had to make this video because I'm 10 hours in now. I keep expecting it to get better, but like just the core gameplay elements and just like so many little things that the developers have done just really start getting to me. And I don't know if I can keep playing this game. And I just want to talk about all the problems with this game and why it sort of sucks. So let's start off with where I am right now. I'm at Haven. So, you know, this is just a minor thing, but when you get brought into Haven, you know, your main base, they don't drop you off in front of your war room where you have to do all your shit, right? They put you down here at the base, right outside. So now I have to walk in here. I have to walk all the way through the city to get to your war room and do all the stuff that you need to do. So that's just like this is sort of like how they sort of extend the game, and just all these little things which kind of suck and which shouldn't be in here. So I want to start off with, I guess, you know, one of the big things, which is customization and why it is not that great in this game. And you know, I hear things from like Angry Joe and like all these other reviewers, and they're like, oh, this is such a great game, and like only Total Biscuit seems to be the only person who's realized that this game is actually awful. Let's go to character record. Okay, you have four you know, attribute places. You know, you've got Spirit, Storm, Inferno, Winter. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever played Dragon Age 1. If you haven't, I'd recommend playing that before you play this, because that's a far better game in my opinion. But you know, having these four sort of class-based things, and it's just how do I put this? It's very linear. The way these skills work are very linear, and honestly, they don't give you that many. Like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skills in a skill tree, kind of not that great. And I think you can unlock more, because they've been talking about blood magic and some other stuff. I hope you can unlock more. But I mean, honestly, this is not cutting it. Like, let me give you an example. This is probably not as good. This is a good example. Fire. So this is a fireball, basically. Flashpoint. You know, after you land a critical hit, the next spell you cast doesn't trigger a cooldown period. Just like all this stuff right here, it's really linear, and it's really not that inventive. A lot of it's passive. And I mean, the only things that you sort of have that aren't passive is like this wall of flame, and it's really not that impressive to look at. I'm gonna be honest. Like, most of these skills just do not look very good in battle, and they don't function very well in battle. And I'll take out my staff right here, and you'll see. So I'm not actually clicking anything. I'm literally just holding down the left mouse button, and I can do that all day. And you know, it feels amazing. It doesn't feel amazing, just so you know. It feels like I'm just holding down the left button. And this is, I almost feel like I'm playing a WoW clone, but with like less, it's like less fun. So yeah, I mean, like, that is the extent of the strategy in this game. It's like putting down maybe like, you know, a wall of fire, which is not that effective, because they're like fear monsters that can just disappear and appear right next to you if you put down a wall of fire. And they will do it if they sense that they can't like get to you. So they're actually more dangerous if you put down a wall of fire than if you don't, in my opinion. So I mean, yeah, this is just not that fun. The story doesn't hold up as well as some people might say. I mean, I think that, you know, the original Dragon Age story was much better. I find this to be I find it very tedious sort of talking to people. I find that there's too many people to talk with, first of all. They don't have anything to say. You know, none of them are interesting. It's like Skyrim, but like at least in Skyrim they sort of shortened the dialogue so it was more reasonable. But like, just, I mean, like, let's talk about, like, your heroes, right? So the way you sort of grow closer with your heroes is by talking to them, right? And the way that Dragon Age, the first one, worked is that it set up camp, right? You set up camp and you talk to people and stuff like that, and you sort of knew when you need to go do dialogue stuff, right? In this game, it's not really the case because, you know, this is your main headquarters, and you're constantly coming back to main headquarters to do stuff. So you never know, like, if there's new dialogue options or not, and that's just really stupid. And it's just it almost throws, like, everything that you did in Dragon Age 1 to the winds, because, you know, like in Dragon Age 1 it was like fighting the Blight and this cool Blight and stuff, and now it's all like, you know, there's a giant hole in the sky and there's time travel magic from the mages, and it's just like it doesn't feel like Dragon Age anymore. Like that, this does not feel like Dragon Age. It might like seem, oh yeah, this is kind of Dragon Age-y, but it feels wrong. Something about it just feels wrong, the way that they've set it up. And another thing I'd like to just point out quickly to finish this up is that the character you play, at least in my case, which is I'm playing a Dalish mage, the character you play just seems very bland. Like it feels like you don't have a story at all. And you know, in Dragon Age Inquisition, in the original Dragon Age, you had this really cool character. You know, you had a decent introduction. You really did. Like you sort of knew who you were, and there was like a whole like sort of scene where like whatever happened, and then you became a Grey Warden. But I mean, in this, it's just like, I don't even know who you are. And also, I just hate the voice of this character. I hate it so much. Like, he just sounds like such a lame ass, and it's just like, I wish I had like maybe like a little gruffer of a voice. But like, I sound like such a winker. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, this game, it's like, I've had more fun playing WoW than I have playing this game, because it feels like WoW, but like with a lot of stuff stripped out of it. And honestly, the environments aren't that nice. You know, whatever people tell you about like the environments, like there's always something cool and new around the bend, that's not true. That is not true. Not from what I have seen. And, you know, I listen to people's advice. I listened to other people's advice, and I got out of Haven, because I've heard like Haven is really, or the Hinterlands, I've heard that's very, very boring. But like, I've been to here, and I've also been to the Storm Coast, and honestly, it's really not that amazing. Like, I don't know what people are talking about. This game sucks. Everything about this game sucks. And I just can't stand it anymore, and I'm going to stop playing it. So, I don't know. Just a ton of problems. Hey, so just one more thing, by the way. So if you see, I'm a mage. Cassandra is a warrior. You know, Rogue. Blackwall is a warrior. And Solace is a mage. Now, do you see something interesting here? Solace is a mage, and so am I. And if you look at Solace, like, do you see something strange? Could it be that we both have the same skill sets? Like, do you see that Blackwall and Cassandra both have the same skill sets? Like, okay, I'm not like saying that you didn't put any work into this, but in Dragon Age 1, you did not have that. Like, you would not have two warrior. You had very few classes that were like the same. Like, you had a warrior, and then you had like a barbarian, or you had something else. You had multiple versions of the warrior class. You did not have just one warrior class and all the same skills. Like, that wasn't a thing. And it's like, it's weird. It's like, it's weird to see that, like, I have two mages and two warriors, and they both have the same sort of skill trees, and it's like lazy. And it's like, why did I pay $60 for a game that has less work put into it in some ways than in the original Dragon Age? And it's like, you can make these giant open worlds and stuff, but if you don't put in any like work into the actual gameplay, then no one's gonna want to play it. I'd rather play on a place that was 1/10 the size of this world, with more stuff in it and more quests that mattered, and better gameplay, than I would trouncing around all over the place, in the middle, and waiting 5 minutes, or just like like why do I have to run around everywhere? Like, you can condense things and add more to your gameplay and spend your budget on the gameplay than you can doing that. So it's just, I mean, look, play Dragon Age 1 if you don't believe me, and you'll see that this is a far, far inferior game.